We always got money for leads nowadays. We always got money. Thing.
Thankfully, yeah.
Oh yeah. You got to, because it's like it's the bloodline. You know, if I don't have money for leads, I can't feed my family, you know? So I rather leave that bill to the side, keep a certain amount for leads, because those bills, they'll get paid. You know, they get paid with the future commission that we make. So always got the lead money.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Elite Sales Podcast. I'm very happy to be joined in studio this week by Jean-Pierre Badon, affectionately known as JP.
What's up, guys?
With FFL. What's the name now?
Elite Performance.
Elite Performance.
7 pillars.
Oh, it's not 7
I've changed
pillars?
it like 10 times.
Oh, wait, what is it now?
No, it's the same.
Oh my God.
Elite Performance.
Wait, what do you mean? I thought it was 7 pillars. I thought it was 7.
Oh, it's 7 pillars. 7 pillars.
But Elite Performance, you had it before, right?
We're all.
No.
I can't keep it straight, but FFL 7 Pillars, president of FFL 7 Pillars. And we got Marlon Hernandez, president of
What's up,
FFL
guys?
Excellence.
What's up, everyone?
So, wanted to kick off the new year with two of our top guys, 2 of our top managers, 2 of our top producers. What do you got? So, coming off the, which Sean always talks about, it's not really a holiday because the Earth spun around the sun. It's not really any real holiday, but what was your guys' takeaway from 2022?
I think mine was, how to be a good leader, like how to just stay consistent, because we've been here for a while now. But it's hard to have the same enthusiasm when you first start to after you have a little bit of trouble to maintain it. So I can say that I've stayed, fairly level-headed the entire year, which has been, beneficial to my business. And I appreciate the guys that work with me too, because, it does get better as time goes on. So I just look at 2022 as just my year of just staying, level throughout the goods, the bads. And 2023, I really want to push, heavier to, having more people who can make a substantial amount of money, because it's not good to do it by myself. It's awesome. I make great money now. I live very, very comfortable now, but it'd be better if I have, 2-3 people on the side of me doing the same thing. So that's really what I'm looking forward to this year in 2020.
And just the inherent part of that, like if you have 2 or 3 people on the side of you, that means 2 or 3 other people, 2 or 3 minimum, are doing well too. So
exactly,
you don't have to, you're putting people on.
Oh yeah. It feels pretty good. I know this might be off topic, but I can now go to a restaurant and I have to look at the bill. That's pretty cool. I don't have to really worry about different things too much. It's just, everything just comes naturally, the positive cash flow. And that just came from consistency because, all, us managers here, we just do the exact same thing every day, buy some leads, dial them, book the appointments, make the sales, have your sales calls with your teams. So if you keep it so simple, you'll just naturally make money. But it seems like everyone's trying to do all these different things instead of just going straight to the source, buy leads, dial a phone.
And Marlon and I had a little snicker when you said, you can go to a restaurant and not have to look at the bill. It seems like a silly thing, but it's actually that freedom and that peace of mind.
Yeah.
Of not being like, let me check my balance first and let me see, and then see what she orders. And then I'm going to make sure I order something cheaper.
What's funny is that I didn't notice this, but my girl would sometimes, she'd look at the bill and then she'd be like, hey, they charge us for stuff that's not. So I got so used to just paying that thing and without even looking at it, it's just, automatic. And then she'd be like, hey, we got to take that off. So check your bill still, even if we're moving quickly. You never know.
That's true.
It, but I'm sure that's true.
Well, hey, yeah, she caught some, stuff there is like $40. It's like, hey.
I don't know about you guys, but back in the day, I was so broke that I would try and find a way to get something off the bill. That's how broke I was.
I've met people like that. Yeah, it's very weird. I don't like that. That's it's weird. I don't know.
Is what he's saying.
Well, I'm just saying that a lot has changed. So whatever position you're in,
man.
Love to hear it.
Whatever position you're in, I came from, having nothing to, making a substantial income, and it hasn't come from anything special, just staying consistent to the business.
Right.
So, and also too, when you look at your business and you're looking at things that you can do to get better, the main thing is staying profitable. Don't just buy leads to buy leads, rework your leads, learn how to invest the time into not just, buying the leads, but also working the referrals, doing your annual reviews, doing different things that can bring other revenue to your business. So you're not always struggling, just, buy more leads, buy more leads. That's not always the answer. The answer is to find other ways to make money off the leads you already bought, and really grow your business from that point, from my perspective.
Yeah, I agree.
Sorry,
before we continue on, Marlon, what was your questions?
2022, I'd say I learned that business is a lot harder than I originally thought, to be honest. I mean, in theory, it sounds easy and simple, but the truth is that it is hard work. And while, the work compared to like...
Siri, stop. So much technology.
Siri, shut up. I mean, compared to like labor and compared to like, what my dad did, and I'm sure what our parents and other family members do. Yeah, it's not hard labor because most of us are at home on the phone, just talking to people. But even then, seeing people come and go as a manager and me, myself, having to go through some tough times really puts things into perspective where, number one, my respect for anyone in any kind of business has gone up. I don't care if it's life insurance, real estate, whatever it looks like, a restaurant or your own clothing company. My respect to anyone that starts a business, can keep a business, and definitely those that are doing it, that are doing it right, that can keep it going and are successful. There's just a lot of, I think, more awareness, that came this year with how to maneuver and understanding how this business in particular works. So I'm really grateful for that because I really feel like this year will be better because of, that added knowledge that previously would hinder me or, delay certain, profits, if you will. So I'd say, just respect and understanding business.
Yeah, those are really great answers. And, the thing is, Marlon, with you, I mean, we've been through that story of you weren't buying leads, you weren't doing well, you didn't know this is for you.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden went to convention, picked things up, started investing into your leads, and then your business took off.
Mm-hmm.
And then with that momentum, you start building your team. You guys really took off. I'm really happy for you guys for that. And then you guys kind of plateaued a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have to figure out a new strategy to
Mm-hmm.
start growing again.
Mm-hmm.
How was that on your mental to experience the, I won't say ups and downs, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not a straight linear path.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would say it was an up and down for sure. I mean, if we look at the numbers, there's definitely, we had a high where we were at half. We got pretty close to that, and then we've dropped to a. Now, because we know the particulars of that situation, I'm personally extremely happy the way, things worked out. But it's part of business. It's just part of life. You have your ups and downs. I mean, literally today, I was telling my team that, I was talking to Victor. Victor, he's calling me a lot he's a new agent and he's got a lot of questions. So truthfully, yesterday I spent about in leads. I didn't close any lead. So, while that happened throughout the whole year, it happens daily and weekly where, last week closed close. This week, 7 families. Thank you. This week, I'm breaking even, so I'm used to it. I'm used to it by now. And the way that happened, I think that if you look at it from the outside in, hey, anyone that drops from 50, that's a loss. That's going to hurt. My situation is very unique to where I didn't feel that way. But even then, it's just, this is, I know that this is what I signed up for. And again, people come and go. And I think, for us as managers, like finding those soldiers that are going to fight with you and run with you, that share the same vision, I think that's key. Because if you have, like you're talking about, like finding that 1, 2, 3 people, obviously the more you get, the better. It gets easier because now you've got people you can count on and, go after that same goal together. So not to sound cliche, but, that whole thing of like, It's just easier if you. What's that one saying? If you want to run fast, like run alone.
If you want to go fast,
Or if you want to go
along,
far,
if you want to go far, go together.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So
I agree with you. It's not cliche, bro. It's the truth. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, I noticed looking at your business, I don't necessarily know your business totally, but looking at your numbers, I'm like, you guys were on a high, you guys are on a high and you went down, but I didn't see you like break like a sweat, like, oh, I'm down on myself and all this stuff. Like, no, Marlon was Marlon doing his thing, rebuilding his team. And that's a good thing, because some people know how to bounce back from a loss.
Yes.
Well, I will say, to add on to that, one of the things for me that didn't stop is producing on a personal level. So I think that if I would have not produced and would have been fully like dependent on overrides and bonuses, yeah, I would have felt that more than I did. But because I knew, and that's something personally, I find it very easy to make sales, and it's fun for me. And I honestly, without it, I don't know what I do. Like, I'd probably be bored at home. So it's just something for me to do, and I make good money and all that. But because I did that prior to getting to that level, I knew that was going to sustain me throughout. And I think that's something to take note of, because it'd be a different ball game if I didn't sell and I didn't know how to, and then that happened. That your income can change dramatically, and quickly here.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think so. I can say this about both of you guys, because you guys are two of the top producers for our team. So the thing is, you always have a little bit more confidence in whatever situation you currently are in, if you know that you can sell. Because the thing is, you can turn things around like that anytime.
Mm-hmm.
Like we talked about this. Like we didn't have the type of growth that I would have liked last year. So the thing is, income was down from the previous year, which, there's a lot of things that I'm responsible for financially. So the thing is, it got to the point where I'm like, okay, well, what do I need to do? Should I start scaling back, cutting back, doing all this other stuff? And I'm like, no, I don't need to change anything, because I know how to sell.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if you haven't developed that skill yet, then that's definitely something you should definitely continue to work on and continue to get around. I will say this about both of these guys. Like, the thing is, I started selling in this year. So at the beginning of the year, I started buying some leads, getting them.
Hey, I saw today.
5 families.
Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry. My bad.
That's a lot of premium, but I was like, nice.
Yeah,
That's big. I was like, all right.
Well, so yeah,
he's done it before, I think. Right?
So I will say this for everyone that's, you're not certain if you want to purchase leads, or if you do, like, you're uncomfortable about unmuting yourself or putting yourself on camera and doing it in front of everybody else. The thing is, I felt the same thing. Like, it's been a while since I've sold. Like, I love selling. Selling's always been something I've really enjoyed. I've always been used to face-to-face. This is where I feel like I excel, and I like spending time with the clients in person. That's just from my experience. So, but I'm like, I can't go and do everything I need to do and still be able to run my business. So I'm going to learn the virtual and telesales game. So I've been getting on the live dials. Terrence is always on there. Shout out to Terrence. Always on there. He's a beast. We got Gerald. We got JP's on there. Bisha's on there. Derek's on there. I mean, sorry if I missed anybody, but it's always really comfortable to get on there and see some familiar faces. Because the thing is, like, even though I have like 15 plus years of experience in insurance, like when I got the leads at first, I'm like, all right, I don't really want to dial. Yeah. And then, like, on top of that, then you start conflating with, what if I start getting tongue tied and start fumbling, which I did, because I was on.
Yeah, I mean,
you heard me.
Yeah, I mean,
I was messing up.
It's okay,
but I also didn't care. I was like, I'm and I just couldn't speak. But I'm like, what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah,
it's true. It's like, bro, Albert, doesn't matter how good you are, because you're always going to mess up. Yep. Like, every call is not perfect. So I don't put that pressure on myself. I know I mess up on some calls. Some calls I'm like squeaky clean and everything's like real smooth. So if you can understand that the business is going to be not perfect, you're going to relieve that pressure, and it's actually going to let you sell more. I don't freak out when I say, or I mess up, or, I mess up on calls all the time. I might say, like, the name of the carrier wrong, or I might say just random stuff wrong. And I was like, oh, I didn't mean to say that. But you got to remember, they don't know what we're supposed to say. Only we do. So there's no pressure there. So
half our clients can't even talk. So
I mean, if you're selling final expense, most of our clients are over 70 years old. Our average age group is like 65 to 85. So, I mean, you could pretty much say anything.
They can't hear us.
They can't hear. They can't hear, as long as they have a valid form of payment, we're okay for their policy. Just sell them something affordable. You're good. Don't take advantage of seniors. That's the message there.
Yeah, but I mean, I kind of wanted to do this. Number one, it's good money. We have this contract, we have this opportunity.
Oh yeah.
But I dropped a couple thousand. I haven't got through all my leads yet. I've talked to a few people. I've spent over a couple thousand. I think I've sold over 8 families, helped 8 families. And
4 times.
I still have a lot of leads I haven't gone through yet. But here's the thing. People look at those results and they're like, for that type of return, it's a great deal.
Sign me up.
But the thing was, I haven't even talked to that many people. Like, you don't have to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
You really don't have to be that good at it.
Mm-mm.
You just have to just fumble through. Cause I think I've only closed a couple deals, and there's people that I talked to that hung up on me, or, they said they're not interested, and I got tongue tied. I couldn't get back to them quick enough as far as rebutting it. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, you don't need to have 100% closing ratio. You don't need to talk. You don't need to close every single deal. You don't need to be that smooth. You just got to start.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Take the risk.
Some fun facts for you guys, for those that are focusing on telesales. I was speaking to different vendors, and I was trying to find a way to, lower the lead costs. And they say their average telesale agent closes 18% over the phone. And they're like, "Oh, Jean-Pierre, you're at 34%. You're doing really well."
Which company is this?
We'll talk about it offline, but there's a few different companies I was looking for live transfers to lower the cost of the lead.
Sure.
I don't want to tell you guys and be like, "Oh, let me go try that vendor out," until I have more, experience with them. I want you guys to go drop in $1,000 and then you lose money. Like, "Oh, these leads aren't so good." But I've used quite a few different ones, and they say, telesales agents, 1 out of 5. So if you can do that, I mean, you're good. Just got to mitigate your lead costs and you're okay.
Yeah, it's funny. We were actually just talking about one of these vendors that I've been using.
Mm-hmm.
A few of your agents have been using it too. And, we've seen them around online, and then we're talking about, hey, this is what happened. This is the experience. But I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I sold a couple off of them, but there's plenty of other people on those leads.
I haven't
had zero interest talking to me.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's like, there's no silver bullet.
Mm-hmm.
No, there isn't.
No, and you have your good weeks, and you also have your bad, slower weeks. So I would just add that consistency. I think discipline is really the main thing. That's another thing that I learned is, there's a lot. One of the things is, I feel one of the things I'm passing on to my managers and new agents and just top producers is saving money. One of the things that I can share from firsthand experience is I took a week off to taking more time, but this 1 week off in particular was a trip that I didn't want to do, but it was a family trip, had to see the in-laws, whatever. So I do it. And this week was very expensive for me, not just in the sense of what I spent there, but in the sense of chargebacks, in the sense of debt. And one of the things that I realized, thankfully, having an agency where there's passive income coming in, I was able to stay afloat. But, I thought about the people that don't have that. And so one of the things is like in sales and here that unfortunately some of my guys have gone through, even top producers, it's actually ended or put a halt to their career right now. It is that money management. And we've talked about it a lot of times, but to be specific, like one figure that I give to agents is if you're here and you don't have $5,000 saved yet, I think that's a good starting point. I'm actually telling my people, Victor, I wouldn't take a break. I wouldn't take a vacation until you save up like 5 G's, because it goes well until it doesn't. And the thing is, we can't tell you how many times a sell felt so good. Like, man, we had such a great conversation and we got to know each other pretty well and it was smooth. And then that one client ends up canceling a few months later, and then you're just perplexed. It's like, damn, I didn't see that coming. Yeah. And you end up really counting on that money. But I think the defense for that is like never stopping, like being as disciplined as you can. And I'm not saying like, obviously a balance is very important. Like have your fun, have your breaks. Like I personally don't work weekends for my family, so I can spend time with my family. But I really learned that week where I was like, damn, like I had to pay like $7,000, which thankfully I was able to pay. I just went right back to work that Monday morning, paid it all off. I didn't get anything advanced, but now I'm also clear of debt. I don't owe any cares, anything. So I'll say that, while you'll have that week that you're going to help 8 to 9 families, it's really good. Don't stop just because it's good. I mean, obviously you're the most pro here. You're the most experienced. So you know that, but anybody there because it'll happen where you're going to purchase a batch of leads and you might have 2 golden tickets in there and you're going to feel like God, where it's like, dude, I'm unstoppable, man. And you should keep that attitude and you should keep that, confidence, but trust us. We've been in the game longer. Don't stop, keep going, save money and not for the purpose of, saving it in the bank, just to be ready because, like I said, I've had some of my guys that have gotten hit strong and, before you know it, it's like they didn't owe anything. Now they owe X amount of dollars. And now all of a sudden things are a little bit harder. Now they need to slow down on this. So just a word to the wise, like save a little cushion. And that goes for me as well.
Great advice.
Yeah, I'm glad that you said that. But, it's like there is no but. I mean, that's excellent. It's like when we used to work for companies, we wouldn't take time off. We'd work 40, 50 hours a week. And that was just our normal schedule. But a new agent, and I did it too. I'm sure you did it. I'm sure Albert did it, is we make a few sales, get a few $1,000s, or like, oh, we can take some time off. Instead, we should just do the exact same thing every single day. And eventually, the money will just come in all the time. You shouldn't have a chargeback problem if you keep working. And
or if you build a strong team, it's one or the other. But I think one of the points that people join business is so they can do that if they really wanted to, where if they like Albert helped out a family today, six families. I mean, if his money's right, which I know it is, but if he was a new agent, his money's right, you actually could. I think that's the beauty, is that, you know what, babe, pack your bags. We're going to, you know what I'm saying? Like the corporate, it's different because you don't go, like, you don't have a job the next day type, right. But I'm just saying, have fun, but take it from me, like save at least $5,000.
Yeah.
Like for me now, what I tell people ask me, yo, like, what are you doing? Like for me personally, if I don't have $15,000 saved, I'm not doing anything. Yeah. Oh, you want to go where? Sorry, I can't do it. I don't have 15. Like I'm just, and it's a good, because now that I have money, now I have this fear of not having it anymore. So it's like, all right, well, I can't be broke. I can't be left without anything. And bills have a way of finding you. So
that's very true.
They'll keep coming.
Yeah. And
so
they
keep working.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, I think Matt Smith is one that said, it's like when people talk about debt, chargebacks, or not having enough money for whatever, it's like, you don't have a money problem, you have a work problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Because the thing is, we get paid so well here. I mean, the high comp, paid very quickly. So when people get their money, there's like, oh, cool, I can take this time off. But think about what you did to make that money. Like, is it a reproducible thing? Have you been reproducing it on an ongoing basis to make you feel this comfortable that you could go and take this time off and you could go and spend it on something wild?
Yeah.
Like you got to be realistic about your funds. I mean, yes, money management should be a very big part of people that are in this business, because especially when you're brand new, like, you need to understand, until you can make it happen over and over and over again, you got to pretend like you got nothing.
Yep.
You should. This is advice that we're all giving you from personal experience, because we've all been there. And I love the fact that you're feeling this comfortable now, both of you guys, because I remember the days when you guys weren't this way. Mm-hmm. You guys were doing the same thing you guys are right now telling people not to do. You guys were doing it to a degree.
Yeah.
And
we always got money for leads nowadays. We always got money. Thing.
Thankfully, yeah.
Oh yeah. You got to, because it's like it's the bloodline. If I don't have money for leads, I can't feed my family, so I rather leave that bill to the side, keep a certain amount for leads, because those bills, they'll get paid. They get paid with the future commission that we make. So always got the lead money.
Yeah, I was actually talking to Clifton about this the other day. He was talking about he's trying to allocate funds for this versus that, and I'm like, just get some leads. And then he's like, yeah, I'm gonna wait till I take care of this stuff first, and then I'm gonna get leads. I'm like, no, just get leads now, because the thing is, strategically understand what he's trying to do. So strategically, the bigger picture, he's got this plan, but then tactically, if you don't do this right now, you're not going to make it to that point. So the thing is, like, yeah, you're trying to strategically do this to win the war, but the thing is, if tactically you don't spend money on leads right now to start making some income, generating some income to be able to pay off those bills that you were going to use this money for, then you're not even going to make it to the end of the war. You're going to die right here.
Oh yeah.
Right?
A little trick that I learned over time that kind of helped me with FFL was that I wouldn't touch any commissions until the first of the month. So anything that came in, I automatically put it back towards leads. So I'd pay my bills on the first. Everything that came in after that was all lead money or, taking care of whatever for the business. And it kind of helped me out, so that way I know, hey,
It's a lot of
this money's
discipline.
it took a lot because, you guys know I had a lot of debt when I first came here, a lot of debt. So if you guys are struggling out there, just know you guys got someone on your team that's personally been there that's gotten out of it. But it took a lot of discipline, so don't treat your commissions as your own. That belongs to your business, does not belong to you.
And then if you guys do have debt, the thing is with this business, you're printing money.
That's true.
That is okay.
Well, I didn't mean like debt in the business. I meant like debt from previous, my own personal stuff outside. Yeah.
Whether it's debt here.
Yeah,
the thing is, you can get rid of all of it if you just keep working.
Work hard. Exactly.
That's it.
You're the key factor you have to remember here that you own your own business. Number one, that means you have to own your work ethic. Number two. So Marlon and Albert are great business owners, but they also have great work ethics. So that way they don't have to worry about anything that comes up. If anything comes up, you can write more business to take care of your situation. So, and I think the same way. I don't really worry about chargebacks. Chargeback happens. Okay. Buy more leads, take care of the chargeback, move.
Well, I wouldn't, thank you for the compliment, but I wouldn't even say I have a great work ethic. So for everyone out there that doesn't have a great work ethic, and I don't mean I'm not willing to work. Like my thing is,
he's very humble. He has a very good work ethic.
No, I love what I do. Like there's a lot of variety. There's a lot of different things that we get to do, building your own business. Like it's your business. It's the moldable piece of clay and you choose what you want to do with it. You also, whatever results you get, you've also chose those results based off of the level of work you put into it. So as far as the work ethic thing, like the thing is, I don't feel like I'm like the hardest worker or anything like that. I just know when there's certain things that I need to do for my business, there's no other way around it. I don't try to fight it. I don't try to say like, how do I not do this? It's just like, I may not like it, but I'm going to do it. Yeah. Right. So as long as soon as everyone comes to that conclusion and accepts responsibility for that part in their business, your life will change. And doesn't mean you're not going to mess up. Doesn't mean you're not going to hit some lows, but hey, you at the very least understand how to get yourself out of that problem.
Absolutely. That's strong. I know for I'm just saying,
how strong is that?
that's a strong statement. That's free game. A lot of you, there's levels to the business, right? So
you're getting emotional.
No, it's just I have bad allergies, not emotional. He's like, get emotional. You about to try it was that strong, huh? But Albert's giving the team free game because check it out. I look at the business this way. Once you've been in it for a while and you get past everything's great, you understand how much work it takes to really build an organization, right? So even though that he says he doesn't have a good work ethic, I know he's being very humble because I've seen him over the last 3.5 years always show up. Now, you don't have to be the best showing up. You don't have to be your best at all times. You just have to always show up, always do something towards your business. I haven't built a really big team, but I've always produced. I've always produced something. I always made sure I had high numbers because if I always had money for myself, I know I could be okay. So if you guys can just focus on one specific thing in your business, which is making more sales and focusing on a lot of time on that, everything will be fine. People want to work with Albert. People want to work with Marlon. People want to work with me because we know what we're doing now. And that's just because we know how to sell. I'll give you guys a story about when I first started. I used to come in Albert's office, me and Derek Brower. I show up at 7:00 and this is before we did telesales, and we would dial from 7:30 to 8:00. Now I was so bad at dialing and setting appointments that I literally had to like have a drink afterwards to kind of like bring me back down because I was so frustrated because I wasn't getting the results that I thought in my head I should be getting. I'm like, well, I'm saying it how they tell me to say it, but you're really not. You know, it doesn't really matter what you say. It's how you come across. You know, if you can have a conversation over the phone, you could easily set the appointment, which also means you can also sell that client over the phone. It's all your posture and your position. So after I had that hard time of maybe the first 3-4 months of coming in, dialing every Monday and Thursday for 10, 12 hours, you know, it got a lot easier. And a lot of people I see, they kind of, it's like avoidance. They don't want to go through it. But, you know, I served in the military and Derek served in the military, and we're very good at just following orders. You know, they say, hey, do this. So we're just going to do it regardless of how, you know, silly in our mind it sounds. We're just going to keep doing it. And eventually you will get good at it because you just follow directions.
That explains a lot.
I mean,
No, but
digging at me. But
I'm teasing.
very
but
coachable.
I mean, I try and be coachable because here's the thing. I never worked in this business before. So why would I be arrogant to be like, oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm not going to listen to training.
Respect the rank.
You know, there you go. Respect the rank. So you got a general, you got 3 generals. You got a 4-star, a 3-star, or a 3-star and a 2-star general right here.
Wait, who's the
So-
2-star?
I'll be the 2-star. His team is bigger. So we'll go off a team ball. But I say this because it's like a lot of people they see the struggle and that's all they see. But when I get on the phones now, if any of you guys have heard me on the live dials, for the most part, it's a very easy transition to get the sale. I struggled a lot when I first started to do that. And it just took repetition. Well, it just comes over time. It's like neither one of us are really special. It's just I believe that we all have the discipline to keep doing the same thing over and over and over again to get the results that we all want. You know, and I think if we keep it that simple, that's all we focus on, our teams will build. They'll build more and they'll sell more. They'll start, you know, believing in themselves. So like when people come on this podcast or other podcasts, they have full confidence, you know. Albert's very confident through and through. Marlon's very confident through and through. And it's not based off of arrogance. It's based off of competency. They know what they're doing. You know, same thing going with me. I know how to sell over the phone. So I would say focus on the basics of your business in 2023. Just get tunnel vision. Hey, I'm going to learn how to sell. That's it. Sell, 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 sell. Eventually you'll start building. People will start wanting to work with you because you know what you're doing. You know how to help people make money. Just for example, I was on a team call. You know, you guys, I do live transfers. I trained 200 agents on how to do live transfers with another team. And I was like, dang, I'm actually come pretty far from not knowing anything. Now I know exactly what I'm doing to help agents in that part of the business make money.
Seeing progress is always a really cool thing.
Yeah. So it's like, if we all just stick to the basics and keep putting in the time, the results will definitely come.
Marlon, so for you, when you sell, you're selling on live dials too, right?
Yeah, like telesales. Yeah.
I mean, I was going to say, like, for me, I'll give a compliment to JP, the backhanded compliment here. The thing is, I always enjoy watching him like, on the live dials, because the thing is, like I mentioned, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be that smooth, because there's times when like the clients are just giving him a bunch of pushback. And the thing about JP, the thing I admire is like, he doesn't care. He just keeps plowing ahead, just keeps plowing ahead. Whatever they say, he just ignores it, just keeps plowing ahead. And then the thing is, I'm like, cool. I mean, like, that's actually the way it should be, because if he wasn't going to sell, he wasn't going to sell it. But why not go down swinging? Do everything that you can. And another thing about Marlon, you know, these two guys actually inspired me for my dials this week. Because, you know, you kind of you have to psych yourself up. My voice here. You got to psych yourself up to dial. Sometimes you got to get yourself into that mindset. So then for me, I'm like, how do I delay this? And I was thinking about procrastinating, but then, you know, the thing that really helped, saw Terrence and his guys on there, they were dialing. And I'm like, oh, he's just going nonstop. He's a machine. And then I thought about JP, and I'm like, JP doesn't care if like the client, you know, gives them any pushback. He just keeps moving forward. I see Misha on there, and I think of Marlon, because like, even though he has his own separate live dials, which is cool, but I'm just thinking about like how much fun he has when he's doing his presentations. Cause he's just like sending us text messages like, oh, this lady said this and blah, blah, blah. And he's just having a good time with it. And he's not taking it very seriously. So I'm like, God, maybe I shouldn't take it seriously. Maybe I shouldn't care that much. Maybe I should just keep calling like Terrence. Like, all these, you draw inspiration from the people around you, which is why hopping on live dials and being around a team is important, because as much as we're all responsible for our own business, like you can't be an island all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I'm glad that you said that, because like, I think we all think like you're perfect,
No, you guys were on that live dial with me earlier.
Yeah, but
I was definitely not smooth.
I know.
But the thing is, I was like, in my head, I was thinking, I was like stumbling more and more. I was getting tongue tied. I was like botching like the script a little bit. And then in my head, I'm thinking, okay, well, what's the worst that can happen? They tell me no. Yeah. And like, I have more leads. I still got to keep working. Like what's it to anyone if I mess up?
That's very true.
But how many $1 million agency owners are still doing that though?
Very rare.
So, I think that's probably one thing where I think a psychological thing for us could be like, we're higher ranked than some of these people on the live dials, whatever that means. And maybe the pride and, like, hey, I'm the agency owner, like I should be killing it. But no, I think it's really cool to hear that you're doing this, because the transparency, it shows itself. Like we're all the same. And the thing is that the clients are also just the same. Yeah. Like my client on the way here, hour drive, I had my Chick-fil-A. I'm over here juggling like a chicken tender and some Chick-fil-A sauce. I got a call from this lady that I just closed. So many questions. So what is a broker? You're a broker? Oh, okay. And what is AIG? What else do they sell? And I could call you at midnight and you'd pick up. Like, it's just like, I was like, lady, you call me at midnight, I'm putting you on speaker. Just so I don't get. But it's not always fun. I mean, it's fun when you're closing, because even if your client has maybe no sense of humor or they're straight to business, which is fine, you're still getting paid. So that's never going to not get fun for me. But yeah, I mean, you end up talking to, cool people, and hopefully you learn a thing or two, and just be careful with the very talkative grandmas that, you know what I'm saying, will stay in your ear for 2 hours, and they're so sweet, but then it's not a sale.
They're never going to buy.
Yeah. You gotta, go make your sale. So I mean, it's cool to hear that you're doing that.
Thank you.
Dope. Yeah.
It's fun.
And Marlon, I'm glad that you brought that up. When you talk, this is, I guess, a learning curve that we all had to get past. Like, how do we decipher when are we talking too much, or when they talking too much, to transitioning to like getting into a sale? Like, what do you?
Well, so, I mean, for me, there's key points on a phone call with my script. I got to get your ID number and I got to get your social. If you're not going to give me any of those, that's a red flag. I don't have any future with you here. Like this, you know what I'm saying? Like this is business. I'm here to help you with life insurance, Bob. Listen, I know you don't like to give your social. You don't have to, by the way, if you don't feel comfortable, we're not going to force you to, but just understand that without it, we really can't look at your medical records. And so the red flags for me is if there's no social, and pretty much if they're not going to give me the information that I need to just do that pre-check first, I'm not really gonna, respectfully like, hey, Bob, I would have to cut them off. But if they give me their social and ID and this is going well, I'll stay in, because, one of the things I learned in my old company is like, back when we used to hit the field, like you'd have 2 appointments, maybe back to back, half an hour apart. And it'd be like, what do you do in that sense? Like if I go to your house and you're there, but I got Yoel in an hour, clock's ticking. What I learned is like, enjoy the person that you're there with, because as long as things are going well and it looks like business is going to happen, not that he's not important, but because you don't want to let you don't want to let the client feel like you're trying to rush them and then you could ruin this. So, stay in the moment. But I think for me, like the red flags is if you're cutting me off and you're trying to run the conversation and you're trying to be it's just not, because I'm probably not as patient as you. Like, I know you keep it very professional, probably till the end. I get very impatient and I can get very lippy. So I'm just like, all right, let me hang up before I lose my license.
Well, I think that's a really good point though. It's not it's not like, hey, this person is going to buy from me, so I'm going to be nice to them. It's other person's not going to buy, so I'm not going to spend the time on this person.
Mhm.
It's not about that. We're professionals.
Mhm.
You know, we get paid for our time. So the thing is, if the client is moving down that path, they're showing interest, then they're buying our time. They're buying the services that we're providing.
Exactly.
Well, if I could give you a real example, yesterday I was talking to a gentleman who's in an assisted living place, and true story. So I didn't know, but initially we start talking, everything's normal. I don't remember his name. We'll call him Bob. He was on the toilet the whole time. And I was like, hey, so next it took me a while to explain because he was, because he's a senior and I got to talk slower and then the service wasn't the greatest. I think we got cut off like a couple of times. I had to call him back. So when I asked him for his social, he's like, okay, so, okay, Marlon, give me a couple minutes. I'm on the toilet. Let me wrap up what I'm doing here. Wow. So I go get my social. So I was cracking up and I was like, yeah, of course, take your time. I'll be right here. He couldn't, I mean, and this is, I've been doing this for 3 years now. 40 minutes into that conversation, he's like, Marlon, I can't find my social security card. So like I'm gonna be very transparent. I actually had to hang up on him because he was a military guy and not that he's not important, but you understand, like clock's ticking.
You got other stuff to do.
I got to get paid. I got to get paid. Yeah. I got to turn this lead money into profit. So, okay. So I hung up on him. It is what it is. He ends up calling me twice and I sent him the voicemail. And he's like, I mean, I could probably read it to you, but he said, he was just very nice. He was like, you know what? Hey, I really enjoyed our conversation. Like, I'm looking forward to keep talking to you. I sent him a text like saying, hey, no, of course, when you find your social security card, call me and then we can talk. But not. Yeah. And then he said, I will. And, but it cost me 40 minutes, but I didn't know he was on the toilet and whatnot. But
that was funny.
True story.
One thing that a key determining factor whether or not someone is going to buy from you is if they can take directions. So if I'm speaking to the client, say, hey, Albert, we sent you a text message. It has my state license on it. Go ahead and pull it up. If they don't even want to do that, I'm thinking in the back of my mind, is this really going to be a client that's going to buy from me?
Also, we have a really good training that we recorded with JP. It's already on the boot camp, but I'll make it accessible for a la carte through YouTube, and I'll send it out to everybody.
What's the training video about?
It's like your opener for live transfer, which is really, really good, and then just tips and strategies for live transfers.
So even though I'm doing live transfers, you can apply it to an outbound call too. So it's the same thing.
Yep.
So like we want to provide credibility over the call. So if I'm calling Marlon out, if I'm pretending like I'm calling out, hey, Marlon, I'm just getting back to you about the form that you sent in, looking to get some affordable life insurance. You gave us your address is this, your date of birth is this. Is that still correct? You'll say yes. Now, I'd say before we get started, the state of California, they do require me to send my state license to you, by text message or by email, just so you can verify you're working with the license agent. The reason why I say that is because I'm trying to find out if I can write them America or not with the text signature, or if I have to use a different carrier. And if they're not able to at least look at the license when I send it to them, in my mind, they're not really a client yet. They're not really into the process of what we're really doing. Say, hey, Marlon, are you able to see the picture? Oh, I'm not really good with text message. Okay, well, just at least go ahead and grab a pen and paper and write down my information. That way you have it. So if we lose connection, you can give me a call back. And if they do that, then I'm like, okay, we're back on the same plane here. So there's little things you can kind of do in your call to make sure that your client's really going to buy from you. And yeah, getting the social security number is obviously very important. If they can't give you the social, it's like, well, what are we doing? And one way to overcome that objection, when we get ready to ask for the social security number, we have to explain the process. So I'd say, hey, Marlon, Americo, they do require that you give your social security number because they're going to check your prescription history report and your MIB report just to make sure that everything matches up with the questions that I'm about to ask you for your quick health exam. Is that okay? See, yeah, that's fine. Okay, so what's your social? So you already told them why you need it, because Americo needs it. You don't need it. Americo does, with a prescription check and the medical information bureau check, and you're good to go. And another issue with getting the banking, maybe, when they have a hard time giving the banking details out, which I have another training on this, is like, you can say, hey, the insurance company requires a valid form of payment on your application. Now, they're not going to go ahead and charge anything today, but we do need a valid form of payment. So what's your checking account number or what's your routing number? So they need a valid form of payment. It's not you, the company does. Those are some like keyword tracks I've learned over the years to kind of help alleviate some of their doubt of what we're doing over the phone.
And by the way,
Nice.
we're at, both these gentlemen are in studio today because we're going to record an objections panel. So for a lot of the most commonly used objections and things that if you guys are stuck on anything that you guys can't quite get over, send it over to Yoel, send it over to the group chat. We'll be happy to have these guys address it. As far as the social security number, bank account information, they don't want to give it out. You say anything differently than JP?
If they don't want to give it out, I'll explain again why we need the information, and I'll let them know. Truthfully, number one, I understand you feeling a little bit iffy. I'm the same way, and I know, if my grandmother were doing this, I'd be like, hold on, let me talk to this person. Let me see what's going on. What I can do for you, Bob, is I can email you my credentials. That way you can see who I am. You can have my license number. I can even email you a PDF copy of the application that we're going to do. So that's helped me out a lot because they can see why I'm asking these questions and they can see the part on the application that asks for the social security number. So they know I'm not making it up. In my experience, maybe 1 out of 5 people that'll work with. But the other, 4, it's a trust thing. And it's just like, I'm not going to do this over the phone. And, I because I'm dealing with people, outside of my state, it's not something I can I can't just go there immediately and visit them in person. But one thing I will recommend is pass it on. If you have a team, pass it on, pass that lead on to, another member, like something I do, like men that give me a hard time. Hey, Des, hey, can you call this lead?
Yep.
Hey, can you, I've learned that women do better. Like, okay, a woman talking to a woman, it's comfortable. An old man talking to a woman. Yeah. It's, you can get better results. And if you don't have a team, pass it on to a fellow agent and just split that, get your,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? Get at least your lead money back. However, that's between you guys, but I've seen that. Some people just don't like my tone, my voice. That's okay. But yeah, I think credentials, and if it doesn't get past that, I don't really push it that much either.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I mean, I have leads that people hung up on me or they said they weren't interested. I'm going to give those to another agent.
Yeah.
Why not?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to do anything else with it.
Yeah. And you can get a split, at least get your lead money back. Yeah. If they're part of your team, you're already getting an override. So.
Plus, I don't know, maybe I was just really crappy in that call. And I acknowledge that could be the case.
Call, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then the thing is, I didn't do my job. That person, they applied for something.
They still need it
at the very least. And I never got them the information. So let's see if we can get them protected. It's just win-win.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not counting every single penny.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As far as the objections, I mean, that's, I wouldn't be doing these live dials. I'm messing it up. I'm actually trying a brand new script. I know exactly what I would say, but the thing is, I tried a couple of different lead vendors. They have their own scripts. So I'm like, yeah, instead of messing with it, I'm just going to go with their script. See how it goes. Right.
Yeah.
So that I'm there like reading it verbatim and I'm like skipping a word and just going through this whole thing. So I was listening to one of Terrence's calls and then he hit some type of objection. And afterwards he's like, dang, I normally get those and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, hey, I don't know if this helps, but this is something that I just read from this new script. And I'm like, try it out. And he's like, oh, that's a really good point. So, I mean, like us being resources for one another. And the thing is like just us messing around. And by the way, for all new agents that are afraid of buying leads or think you don't have the skill set yet, like I know what I'm doing, but I played it like a brand new agent reading off of a script, saying verbatim what that script was saying. So It doesn't take any magical skill. It just takes effort.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you're going to get the layups where people, they want it so badly and they've already made up their mind. They know their budget. I mean, those are our favorites. Right. But yeah, all you need to do is buy that lead first and that could be you. So.
I mean, literally you'll have probably 10 to 20% of your leads that if you just call them, they'll probably buy, you just got to speak to them. They didn't have the resources to do it. You called them.
You probably created more objections than they gave you.
Yeah.
That's happened.
Oh, yeah. Okay. It's funny that Marlon says that is because sometimes new agents will give a client an objection before they even said anything.
Are you sure you wouldn't buy this? Like,
Wait,
life insurance, do you really need it?
Maybe we could look for a different company, see if we can get it cheaper. Like they didn't even say anything yet. Let them answer.
Right.
The biggest thing is listening to your clients. You know, when you first start, we're so busy talking, we don't listen to what they're saying, what they're giving us feedback for. So that's actually pretty funny that you mentioned that. But one thing that I will say to alleviate some of the objections is the confidence in how you come across. Your posture on the phone. You know, I always make this funny joke is that I can say anything on the phone and close it, which is kind of true because I don't need a script anymore because the posture of how I sound typically is usually very professional. They know that they're dealing with the licensed agent. If they don't trust me, I just hang up and go into the next lead. I don't take it personally. It's something with them, not with me, because, you know, I know who I am. I'm an insurance agent. I sell life insurance over the phone. So you have to kind of own what you do. That way, when you do talk to people, you're not really fumbling. You know, you could really just have a conversation and be comfortable with them. And then that comfortability will alleviate those objections, you know?
Yeah. Well, before we let everyone go, if you guys, since you guys are both top producers and managers building a team, what does your guys' daily schedule look like? So what are these people, like what's something they should kind of build their blueprint around?
I do Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. That's my schedule nonstop. I take a lunch break at 12 to 1. I try to do administrative prior to 9. So like 7 a.m., I try to get on the call with carriers because they're a nightmare to get on a call later on. So 7 to 9, to be, you know, even more detailed, 7 to 9, administrative stuff, chargebacks, client, I need to send in an ID because whatever. 9 to 12 calls, and then 1 to 4 calls. I stop there because I've noticed that the quality of your leads or calls that comes in past a certain hour for me, the numbers that I've tracked don't make too much sense. So Monday through Friday.
Which that could be true. I personally,
for me, I don't know.
So it also could be that your energy starts to wane and you perform differently. So that's something to keep in mind. But you're tracking your numbers, so and it's working. So from 9 to 3, that's not bad at all.
No, I mean, no, it's not.
You're not working weekends because I see you having fun on the weekends, and I love it.
I mean, you helped 7 families in 1 week, working a 9 to 3 a day. You hit the gym. I mean, it's living the life.
Beautiful.
Love FFL.
Excuse me while I'm dying here on the
Need water?
No. I definitely need water, but I'm all right. You know, my schedule now is I work a little bit less because the skills have developed to where I don't have to put as much time in. But when I first started, I put way more time in. I would say if you're a new agent, I would dial from 7:30 to 6, 7, 8 at night because you need those reps to get in. Because I don't want to tell you my schedule of me taking live transfers. I work 3 hours, make 2 deals, and then call it a day. It took me years to get to that. So a schedule for a new agent, dial from 7:30 to 8. And whatever you want to do in between there, as long as you're hitting, you know, $300 to $400 a dial day, you're going to make money.
Yeah, but what's your schedule?
My schedule is changing the day.
Yeah, but what you doing?
Morning. Okay, so this is okay. I'll give you my live transfer schedule, even though I don't recommend doing live transfers for new agents.
Well, just tell us your daily schedule so people get an idea. So
I don't.
Hey, he's thinking new agent. What? No, but what's yours? What are you doing? We know you're a veteran agent.
Oh,
my schedule. I just try and take 7 calls a day. Out of the 7, I try and close 2.
You don't care about the time, like.
Oh, I don't take calls first thing in the morning because one thing I've noticed with the vendors that I use, a lot of the people that I'm talking to, maybe they're not awake yet. Maybe it's even me. Most of my deals come between 11, 12 to 4. I know Marlon probably feels the same way because he does a lot of live transfers too. I think a lot of my deals come after mid-morning. So I don't even turn my calls on until 10 o'clock. So I'm
the opposite.
Yeah,
so actually by lunchtime, I'm sometimes like, I'm good.
Well, you might be using a different lead vendor. Because
Probably.
I'm
I don't
using.
know. People are people. They're gonna.
Well,
So,
it's true.
would that actually proves a very good point.
But like you said, you probably maybe, like he was saying, it's probably us.
It
Like
could
by
be
4
me.
o'clock,
We're not-
I am probably very impatient. Like
Yeah.
in the morning, maybe. Are
Maybe
you
I'm
a
slow.
morning person? Would you?
I used to be a morning person.
Well, I know now you have a baby,
Well, now,
so
yeah, I'm all over.
you're probably not
it,
even
you know,
sleeping.
But what's crazy is that when I first started, I used to take notes, and when I used to lose people, I would say, okay, I lost him at this part of my script. I lost him at because maybe I didn't sound confident, because if you're sounding confident or not when you speak. So I'll write confidence next to that one. I say, okay, I lost because I didn't sound confident.
You're evaluating
I
yourself
was
as you go?
evaluating myself, so that way I kept myself accountable, always getting better. So like even now, even though I'm a veteran agent, I'm still learning.
Yep.
I'm still learning, even though to give myself a small pat on the back, I know exactly what I'm doing. I know live transfer game like nobody's business because I put so many hours into it.
Right.
So whatever form of lead source you're working, if it's an outbound call, if you're going seeing face to face, become a perfectionist, because that will make you money, and put in the time. So my schedule now, 10 to 4, basically. So to make it easier for Yoel, I just didn't want to have a brand new.
Yoel wants to copy greatness.
Live transfers,
He's trying to copy the master blueprint.
He's trying to, copy greatness, bro.
No, you guys are great. I'm all right. I just didn't want new agents trying to do live transfers, because my lead cost is $60 to $80 per lead, when you can get on the CRM for $2 to $5, or outsource it to a different vendor for $20, $30 and get the same quality.
We're talking.
I'm
about
just
you.
buying leads, buying time.
It's about you today, though. We want to give you the time, not the.
But yeah, that's typically my schedule, 10 to 4.
Well, I think that kind of proves the point. It's not really what the hours are. It's not like clients buy during these times or not these times, whatever it is. It's when you work the most efficiently. So the thing is, you got to figure out when you can dedicate that time, put aside that time to actually put in that work consistently, and just do it repetitively. Because in all full disclosure, like, I feel like I've sucked this week so far, and it's only been 4 days into the week. I've helped 8 families, but the thing is, it's not like I saw a ton of people. It's just I'm still figuring things out on my own. So just
Took the risk.
just start doing it. Just start doing it. And then for when JP says like he's got it down pat, and he understands. You get to a certain point where you start to believe everything you tell yourself too. So then this is why it's important to get on live dials, because sometimes people will give you some feedback and you don't even recognize you're saying certain things or doing certain things. Like, I ask for feedback, it helps me. So, just get over that level of uncomfortability in your own head, unmute yourself, turn your camera on. If you're not on, hop on, because it can only help you grow.
Mm-hmm.
And then one last thing I wanted to share. I mean, I just heard this morning about some old Whoopi Goldberg story. You guys know who Whoopi Goldberg is, right?
I know who she is.
I know. Come on, Ghost. You guys didn't see Ghost? That was a classic.
That's the movie she's in.
That was like 35.
Oh, yeah,
it
it
was
was
40
Disney.
years.
Like Disney.
I'm
Channel
thinking the
sister
View,
actress.
the View Whoopi.
Anyways, she's famous. If you guys don't
No.
know her, crawl out of that rock you've been under. But the reason why I bring it up is because in 2023, everyone's saying, "Oh, this is going to be new year, new me," which is yes. But then they're saying, "This is the year I'm going to do this. This is the year I'm going to make this much money. This is the year I grow my business. This is the year I'm doing whatever." So with that Whoopi Goldberg story, some guy came up to her and they said like, "Hey, I'm a really big fan. I've always wanted to be an actor. How do I become an actor like you?" And then she was like, "Okay, when you were in school, did you get into school plays? Did you perform in those things?" He's like, "No." He's like, "Okay, what about in your local community? Do you go to like playhouses? Do you try to audition for any of the stuff?" He's like, "No." And then she's like, "Well, in that case, you don't want to be an actor. You just want to be famous, and you just want to recognize that for that." So, if for anyone that's saying, "Hey, I want to be successful this year. I want to make this much money. I want to do whatever your goals are." The thing is, ask yourself, is that really what you want? Or do you just want those results? Which, if you think about it logically, how do you get to those results otherwise?
Come at a price.
Start buying those Mega Millions tickets, right?
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
put in the work.
That's the only other way. So just keep that in mind. Like, whatever you're telling yourself, think about it logically. is whatever steps you're taking currently, is it helping you get closer to that? Or is it just more lies you're telling yourself that's going to only set you back this year? I want a great year for everybody. So, let's try to be sincere with ourselves, figure that out, know what you want, and just actually put in that work. So appreciate both of you guys hopping on and sharing some great stuff, guys. And, look out for the objections panel that you all will be producing. These guys will be on it. Going to be a lot of great stuff. It's going to help your guys' business. So, see you guys in convention, Miami, February 1st through the 4th, free to attend. FFLconvention.com. Go ahead and register. Appreciate you guys. See you guys soon. Let's go be elite.